discovery of the 70 new codices that they found in East Jordan over 5 years ago. So that'd be really interesting to see what information comes out of that.
I couldn't care less.
You couldn't care less?
Really
Okay.
No, you know what it's like? It's like we're all on a bus, and the bus keeps going around and around, and it ran over a chicken. And we all got out of the bus, and we picked meat off the chicken to make a chicken salad. And then the bus went around again, and it ran over the chicken again. And every time it runs over the carcass of the chicken, we climb out of the bus to pick out more meat off the bones. And that's the carcass of Jesus, you know. There's no more meat on those bones. We're not going to make a chicken salad out of Jesus again, no matter what's in these bloody scrolls. It really doesn't matter. The story was sick in the beginning, it was sick in the middle, and it's sick in the end. And I think it's a big distraction to even care about some kind of new revelation coming out of ancient scrolls. They're not Gnostic documents, I don't believe, and so I don't expect much from them.
Yeah. I guess if they were contradictory to the official story, then they wouldn't be mentioning it. Yeah.
Yeah, and what difference does it make? You know, you saw what happened with the Da Vinci Code. You know, that was like a shock. And so where are we now? Now, the thrill is gone, and has that really changed anything in the insanity of the belief systems that are driving our behavior? Nothing. You know, people away away from it. But on the whole, it's not going to be a great revelation, and I don't think it's going to be either.
Yep. The next question we have is from Uranus Rising.
John, in Gnostic cosmology, the first episode of the Sophia mythos says a singularity arises within the Godhead, the realm of the pleroma, divine fullness, which is astronomically the galactic center. The singularity carries the potential for novelty to emerge in the universe. It is called anthropos. I'm curious to see what you envisage or imagine will be revealed or experienced when Gaia aligns with the galactic center on the 21st of December 2012.
Well, first of all, can I say something about 2012?
Sure, please do.
There is no alignment with the galactic center at 2012. Sorry to be poop on the parade. But it's just a meme that's going around. It's a rumor that's going around. And it is astronomically false. There is an alignment of the winter solstice, which is a point on the ecliptic plane of the Earth. An alignment of the winter solstice, where the sun stands on December 21st, to the galactic center. Now, every year, December 21st, the sun occupies that point. But that point, the winter solstice, does not coincide with the galactic center right now. It's about 3 degrees to the east of it. The best estimate for the sight line to the galactic center is 27 degrees of Sagittarius. Okay? And the winter solstice, of course, is 30 degrees of Sagittarius. So there's 3 degrees of separation. That means that the winter solstice has to drift by precession 3 more degrees, and then we have complete and perfect lock-in phase between the ecliptic plane of our solar system and the line to the galactic center. That happens in about 200 years, because 3 degrees of precession is about 210 years. So, not only is there there is a unique astronomical alignment in 200 years, not in 2012, and not only is that the case, but the Mayan calendar was recently recalculated, and the correlation that has been used since the 1930s was overthrown. You may have heard this. And according to the new correlation, Mayan calendar ends in about 200 years. So this is what we're looking at.
Is the end of the Kali Yuga at the same time?
Yes, it is. Kali Yuga ends in 2216 AD. Where do I get that figure? I base it on 5 things. Correlation of the Hindu, Egyptian, Maya, and Aztec calendar systems. That's 4 calendar systems. coordinated with the star calendar of precession, which is not a human-made calendar system. It's actually the phenomenon of precession. You can't argue with what I'm saying. The winter solstice coincides with the galactic center around 2216. That is also the end of Kali Yuga. It's the end of the great precessional cycle as a whole, and it is the beginning of the next great precessional cycle. That is 2216 is the 0 hour of the great precessional cycle. Now, in my opinion, the fact of putting that ahead 200 years in time is a very hopeful thing, because it means that now we are engaged in Gaia's correction right now, since March 19th, and that we have that time to become adept in coevolution and to become skilled in navigating with her, to understand how she navigates. You want to learn how Gaia Sophia navigates the planet through the galaxy? This is learnable. I'm teaching this right now. It has to do with the apsides of the moon, the perigee and apogee of the moon. That's the steering device that she uses. So it's absolutely, and I think that Cliff High, you know, a funny thing, I just want to bring in Cliff for a minute. Brilliant mind. And I was listening to an interview that he did for 2 hours with someone, and he was talking about things, and I thought, my God, I wonder if he uses any astronomy or lunar astronomy or studies of lunar cycles. Or I wonder if he knows about the apsides of the moon, which is the perigee and apogee points, because some of the things he says were very closely parallel to my own findings based on that phenomenon. You know, the whole secret of Gaia's correction in astronomical terms is the apsides of the moon and the barycenter of the moon. That's the whole secret. And it has cyclic properties. You can study when the steering is being done. You can study when the steering mechanism is being moved and shifted one way or another by studying the barycenter and the cycles of the moon. And as I was listening to him, I thought, well, I understand that he gets his predictions and his ideas from dredging the internet, but some of them were so close to my own observations that I wondered if he might be onto that same trick.
I do know that he does follow the lunar calendar.
Okay.
Any more than that, I can't say.
Yeah, he does use a lot of other material, resource analysis of materials, and astrology, perhaps. I think Bob Heath or something, astrologer that he gets information from. But yeah, he does follow other matters along with the internet information.
Sure. Well, my main source of information, you know, I have a saying here, or I'll put it in form of the riddle. What is the best source of information about what's happening on the planet?
Is that a question? Sorry.
Yeah. What's the best source of information about what's happening on the planet?
Your inner instinct, I guess.
No.
Gaia.
The planet. Yeah. The best source of information about what's happening on the planet is the planet. So, how do you get information from the planet itself directly? This is what the Gnostic seers did. They called it mathesis. They also called it theoria. You know, the word theory now means a kind of hypothetical structure or some kind of hypothesis or some intellectual construction. But originally in the mysteries, theoria meant beholding. That is the original meaning of the word theoria, to behold. And what did they behold? Well, they beheld the organic light. They went into heightened states of trance. And they got information directly from the planet. And we can do the same. And this is the great breakthrough right now. This is the moment that this is coming. This is happening. And she is making this massively available to those who pick up on it. That doesn't mean that the masses will pick up on it. But I assure you that she is making it massively available.
Thank you, John. John, as we end this discussion, we wanted to ask one final question. This question is from Lolly.
This question is actually from my friend Bluebird on the forum. Please share your vision for the near future to integrate meaningful myths into our daily lives.
Well, myth is a big subject, and I would propose to you that each of us, you can get lost in myth. Jung did. he was often overwhelmed by the material he was exploring and discovering it. And in fact, when he broke up with his first mistress, Sabina Spielrein, who had guided him through the mythological process, he actually had a mental breakdown and had to retreat for a number of years. At moments in my life, I was also overwhelmed by the material, somewhat in the same manner. I warn you, my friends, you don't have time for that now. So I would like to give you this advice. There's only 2 myths that you need to know in order to get on track with your life and into the symbiosis and the wonder of Gaia's solution. The first myth is the one that every human being should know. The myth that was withheld from us, the myth that the predators tried to destroy. The Sophonic vision story. The myth of the fallen goddess. This is the myth to guide the species. This is the myth that every human being should know. So learn that myth. You can read about it on my website or in my book, or listen to the narration of it, which is on the internet from Grok the Talk, Thomas Malone. Secondly, if you're fascinated and attracted by the beauty of myth, just remember one thing. The time for armchair mythology is over. Campbell is dead. Eliade is dead. And it's their successor, John Lash, talking now. And he advises that directive and applied myth is the only kind. Live it. It's not to play games. It's not to interpret. It's not to make excuses. It's to live it. And so live the myth of Sophia. And then there is one other myth you need to know about. And that is your destiny vector into her story. Each of us has a destiny vector into her story. Each of us has a life thread, a personal mythology that weaves like a tendril into the vast tapestry of her life. And that myth of your destiny vector is shown by 2 things. Is shown by the position of the sun and the earth in the constellations at the moment that you were born. Not in the astrological signs, in the constellations. You can identify your myth by the constellation, and from there develop and explore that myth. And that is the myth that you will live into as you merge into her story. And that's only 2 myths that you need to know, yours and hers.
Just lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, John. I hope it's been enjoyable for you as it has been for us. If not, bad luck, sir. George Gurdjieff said, "To know all, it is necessary to know very little. But to know that very little, one must first know pretty much. In an age of sound bites, you have broken away from this broadest view, searching for the truth of our history. Your information is aimed at empowering us all, and that is the difference that makes you as close to a true no-scene and a telestis. On behalf of Fox and all the members of the WebBot Forum, we thank you, John. In the tradition of the WebBot Forum, may you have many pies to come."
And the same to you, my friends. It's been a great pleasure and a privilege. Bye for now.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Sure, thank you.